Good day, and welcome to this week's episode of Ike Time. This week, we talked to our own social studies teachers about the election that happened previously.
So election day can be anything from federal elections to state elections to local elections. What we're getting ready to vote tomorrow will be some federal, and it's also some state elections.
What's the purpose of these elections?
So for these specific elections, is that what you're talking about for tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
So for these specific elections we're holding tomorrow, obviously every 4 years we do the president and vice president, but we also have, in addition to that, we have legislative members who are running for state representatives. We've got sheriffs running. We also vote on our judges here. So we've got Supreme Court judges up for retention. And then in addition to that, you've got your Court of Criminal Appeals judges who are up. And then you also have what's called state questions on this ballot coming up. So state questions are things that the state has put out to the people to vote on. There's also a county question on this one. So that is the Comanche County has put out something to ask voters, hey, do you want this? Vote yes or no. So there's quite a bit in this election.
How important is it to vote?
It's extremely important. If you want your voice heard, even if the person you want to win doesn't win, the only way to make your voice heard is through voting.
What would you say to someone who thinks their vote doesn't count?
It's easy to think your vote doesn't count, especially if you are voting for someone who normally won't win in that area. I was that same way of, oh, my vote won't count, So for years I didn't vote. And then years ago, I realized how important it was to vote. And that's the only way for my voice to be heard. And like I said, even if the person I want doesn't win, that's the only way for your voice to be heard. So even if you think your vote doesn't count, it does. And if you look at some elections, even in Oklahoma, some elections have come down to the person's won by 1 or 2 or 3 votes. So every vote counts.
Election Day is the annual day that we all come together as citizens and vote for federal elections, state elections, and local municipalities as well.
What is the purpose of these elections?
Purpose of elections, more or less, is to legitimize the acts of our elected officials.
How important is it to vote?
It's extremely important to vote in a representative democracy. The chances are much greater that we run into a minority creating laws for the majority if we don't vote.
Voting is a privilege in the U.S., yet many don't think their vote counts. What would you say to them?
What I would say is that if they already think their vote doesn't count, it surely won't count if they don't vote at all.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And now for Donovan's sports report.
Thank you, Brianna. First off, basketball started their seasons this week. 6th grade girls beat Central 14-10 on Monday. 7th and 8th grade girls and boys played Riverside Tuesday. Girls won 49-9 and boys 7th grade won 71-29, while 8th grade boys had a competitive opponent. Lastly, wrestling has their first tournament of the season on Saturday at MacArthur High School. Back to you, Donovan.
Thank you, Donovan. The Silly String War has been moved to November 20th due to the weather conditions in the field we will be using. This means you have more time to get your tickets. That's right, Donovan. This year's Silly String War takes place 6th, 7th, and 8th hours. You can purchase your tickets during lunch for $5 each. That ticket will also get you a can of Silly String. If you would like another can of Silly String, you can purchase it for $3 the day of.
Reminder that this Friday is a virtual day, so be sure to check into your Google Classrooms.
Don't miss out. Make sure to pre-order your yearbooks. Yearbooks are $50 in room 235 with Miss Cortez or Miss Price.
Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any videos we post. Follow our socials at
Here are some wise words from Miss P.
One of the things that I always tell my class is when they leave, make good decisions, have a great day, and if you can't have a great day, don't mess it up for nobody else.
That's all for this week's episode of
Ike Time.